So you've been listening to me ramble on for quite some time about this, that, and the other. So allow me to ramble on briefly about how I operate this podcast. There's lots of options for how you want to post and host your podcast and put it out into the world. I did a lot of research on mine, and for me, I decided to go with Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. That was a big selling point to me. Free is good. I like free. There's also tools for creation to help you record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer or your tablet or whatever you're using. I find that to be effective. So we got free, we got recording and editing, both big deals because they are. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you. So it can be heard on Spotify, it could be heard on Apple Podcasts, it could be heard on Google Podcasts, and many, many more. That is a huge time saver because I don't have to go to each of those things to upload. So I like that distribution right then and there. And again, it's free. You can make money from your podcast if you're into that kind of thing with no minimum listenership. That could be cool. I think you should try it. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So if you've been on the fence about making a podcast and the only thing holding you back is how you want to host it or create it or whatever, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's worth it.
Hello, my darling friends, my loyal listener base, my fans, all 7 of you. And the random people who don't know me, but they were told to listen to me, probably by me. And welcome to the Death Metal Disco Podcast. I appreciate you coming back because it took a lot for me to come back, and I fucking run this shit. So anyway, yeah, I've been gone a minute because life, and I'm working on that. So this is going to be a super quick episode, hopefully, if I get this to where I want it to be, because I don't have a lot of time to record this and edit this and get it uploaded before I have to depart. Today, I have a wedding to go to, and it's 8:45 now, and it's at 1:30, so if I multiply by 7 and carry the 3, that's in like 4.5 hours. So, yeah. My friend Sarah that I used to work with, Sarah, my dear, and her fiance, soon to be betrothed, Dustin. I only met him once. He seemed like a nice guy. She seems very happy with him, and that's good. They are tying the knot today. So congratulations, Sarah. I know you don't listen to this, but if you do happen to catch this, congratulations, and I look forward to seeing you all happy and stuff. They did have a baby a while back. And, that's the way you do it. You have a baby, you get married, I guess. Just kidding. Ha, ha, ha. I jest. That is actually the way that it's done. But it's totally fine. I don't give a shit the order that people do stuff. I don't even care about marriage. It's not my thing. I'm not into that, I guess. Because I'm going to die alone. And that's fine. But anyway, congratulations, Sarah and Dustin. I will see you guys later today. And I might not even upload this before I get to go to that. So normally I try to upload on Mondays, but with my sporadic recording as of late, I don't really know if that's going to be a thing. Again, like I said, it's 8:45 right now. I woke up about a half hour ago, and I really needed to get this done. I've had kind of a stressful little bit here. Work has been interesting. Good, mostly. I have my gripes, as most people do with their jobs, but my gripes are a little more, not even my direct issue. I'm doing a lot of on behalf of griping. But I'm not going to get into it because I want to keep this quick. And if I start going off on that, I'm going to fucking take forever and then I'll have to kill myself or cry. One of those two is going to have to happen. I just can't allow myself to go on and 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 on. The good news is that every episode I've done of this podcast has been recorded on a Rode Procaster microphone. Love that fucking thing. It's fucking great. It looks good on my desk. Looks official. And after being a death metal vocalist for 22 years now, I finally stepped up and bought a Shure SM7B, and I got it used off of Facebook for $300, and the guy sold it and a Triton Audio Fethead for $300. This fucking microphone by itself, brand new, sells for almost $5, and $300. It didn't come with the big fat, thick windscreen for close-up talking is what it's called, the close-up talking windscreen, but I don't really care. I don't plan on using it for close-up talking. I'm not going to replace the Rode with it for this, at least not anytime soon, I don't think. I might try and add a pop filter. I have a pop filter somewhere. I'm just going to find it. I might try and add that in front of this Rode, because even though it's got a built-in windscreen and all that, it does pick up the peas, pop, 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 pretty hardcore. Like, those are fucking huge on my waveform. And I didn't mute my phone. I did order breakfast, so that'll be coming here soon, because I'm fucking starving. Anyway, a wedding. Sometimes I put myself down as a +1, and I'm like, I'm going to have a date. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. I did that this time, and I actually was, I did have intentions of having a date, whether or not they were already going, because it's a girl I worked with, so there would be people that I work with going, or, used to work with, or at least know, or I would find one. I would try to actually find a real date, somebody I know that maybe doesn't know everybody else, something along those lines, or somebody that maybe does know everybody else, but wasn't invited, didn't receive their own invite, that type of thing. I have been seeing a girl. I think I mentioned that in the last episode, very casually, at least supposed to be. That sort of just ended. I don't know if I have time to get into that. Anyway, if any of you, my friends, that hear me say, "Oh yeah, she's great," but we're destined for failure because of she wants the kids thing, and I don't. You should definitely just kick me right in the balls. That'll alleviate the inevitable, because even with the idea of friends with benefits, and those benefits differ for everybody, but even with the idea of friends with benefits, somebody is bound to get attached. Somebody is bound to have feelings. I don't personally know anybody that's done a friends with benefits situation that has worked out where they're just like, okay, well, we have to stop, and they just call it a day, and everybody's fine, and nobody's feelings are hurt. And I mean, I'm sure maybe some of you out there had that. I don't know about it. Like, the ones I know about that did a friends with benefit thing, and just fucking tragic, just tragic. And I've never done one until recently. And yeah, I tried to pull back on our frequency. Really, I didn't try to pull back. It just happened naturally because my work schedule was fucking bonkers. Her schedule with what she's got going on in life was bonkers. And meeting up was difficult. We would do a lot of overnight stays and stuff like that, and make big dates out of it, hotels and blah, blah, blah. But what would happen, though, is I was getting it thrown in my face that I did not want to have kids with her, as if it was a decision I made. I don't feel like having babies with you. And it was never about her. And that was really, really irritating. And I think I brought it up to her a couple times, but so finally, told her a few nights ago, hey, we started talking, and she got into, you don't want to see me, you don't care about me, blah, blah, which is absolutely not true. I do care about her. She's fucking great. She's really, really good. Really, really cool person. Really great person. I just know that if we continue down the path, she really likes me, and having two people really like me in the same year is like a fucking astral phenomenon. Like, watching a unicorn fucking give birth to fucking another unicorn. I just knew that it was only going to end terribly, and not in like, oh shit, something's gonna happen that's gonna blow up, and that's what's gonna be our end. It's gonna be that our end is going to be because of what we already knew and understood going into everything about her wanting the kids and me not wanting the kids, and she doesn't deserve to have her heart broken over. And we had an agreement, but there were definitely times where I could tell that agreement had lapsed in her brain. And that's, I understood what I was getting into, at least thought I did. I thought she understood too. And, I don't have anybody else lined up. I'm not talking to anybody else of any real conversations. Haven't met up with anybody else. We met on Tinder. I've talked to a few other women on Tinder, but never met any of them, and had no clear intentions of meeting any of them. I mean, she will have no other problems finding somebody else to see. It's just a bummer. Like, when you try to end it to avoid hurting somebody worse, and then ultimately you end up in pretty much the exact same spot. It's been a couple days now. Haven't talked to her. She called me the night before last, but was not in a position to answer the phone, and didn't call yesterday at all, and I didn't try to talk to her yesterday at all. So maybe sometime today I'll hit her a text or something. But yeah. Anyway, and that was one thing for the wedding that I didn't want to. If things had been going like they were when we started, where there were no conversations about the babies, I would have happily brought her to this wedding. She's cool. She's fun. I think she probably would have had a good time. Yeah. It would have been nice to introduce her to people that know me. But I figured adding a wedding into the mix with somebody who maybe forgot the end goal is probably a bad idea. So anyway, my friend Jen is going to come with me, and it's good because I haven't seen Jen in like a year, almost a year and a half. And she and I go way back. Her and Sarah started in the same group of people when they got hired. We all used to be dispatchers together. Jen and I were labeled as husband and wife at a thing in Vegas a few years ago. One of our coworkers got married, and we ended up crashing the wedding out in Vegas. Me, her, and my friend Miranda and Johnny. And the stepdad of the groom was talking to Johnny and was asking, how we knew everybody. And I guess I was in the bathroom, and I guess he told him, he was like, oh yeah, we work with Sam, and we were just talking, and Sam said, yeah, man, if you guys want to come out, feel free to come out. So we did. And he asked Johnny, he was like, so the blonde one's with you? And because Johnny and Miranda were a thing at the time. And he goes, yeah. And he just assumed that Jen, who was a beautiful brunette, by the way, beautiful girl, love that girl. He just assumed that Jen was my wife. And so I come back from the bathroom, and Johnny's like, hey, so congratulations. I said, oh, for what? And he goes, Sam's stepdad thinks that you and Jen are married. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because, I mean, if I'm going to be surprise married, might as well be to some beautiful girl who I really do love. I love the shit out of her. And we get along great. Just never see each other because, life and 2020 and 2021, which is 2020 part 2, in my opinion. It's not as bad, not as fucked up, but it's getting there. It's super awesome. Not good times. Anyway, so that's who I'm going to the wedding with. I texted her earlier this week and said, hey, you got plans for Saturday? And she said, yeah, with her kids. And I was like, oh, that's okay. Well, never mind. Disregard, because I wasn't going to try to interfere with the kids and any of that stuff. So she ended up very nicely just postponing picking up her kids. So I'm going to have to ask her a little bit later if that was actually a good thing to do or a bad thing. But anyway, so going to a wedding. Haven't been to a wedding since that one, I guess, which is fine. I don't mind weddings. I like celebrating other people's happiness. I don't personally think I'll ever get married, but that's whatever. That's what it is. So that's what I'm doing today. And then after that, drop Jen back off at her home. She go picks up her kids. And then I will go to Chris's house where we start the Festival des Films. We're doing the night stream, which is something that started last year with the Overlook Film Festival. In combination with some other film festivals, they combine their forces like Voltron and do the night stream. And I'm only able to see some of it with Chris because he's got 10. I don't know how they do the packages. I didn't look, but he's got 10 movies on his list. I think he probably started last night, but he'll be going today, and then I'll go over there after the wedding shenanigans today, and then most of the day tomorrow. And then I do band stuff on Monday, which will get its separate update here shortly. And then so I'll band stuff, and then after band stuff, back to his house. And then I have a voiceover thing midday Tuesday, and then back to his house. And then Wednesday, more band stuff, and it's all good. And then Thursday, we mosey on down to Telluride for the Telluride Horror Show, and that'll be good. I'm not looking forward to the fact that San Miguel County has mask requirements, so to do the film festival to begin with, and I apologize, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am super stuffy right now. Like, I woke up just stuffy, a little snottier than usual. Not a fan. It hasn't cleared up. I mean, granted, I haven't been awake all that long yet, but San Miguel County has mask restrictions requirements right now, which is not entirely surprising. They were a hotbed. Well, pretty much all the mountain towns were a hotbed of the Rona last year when it started kicking off. So it's not really surprising at all, but kind of a bummer. There to get into to actually see the films, you have to either have proof of vaccination, which I'm not super fond of. You know, people keep calling it a vaccine passport and blah 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 blah. But I mean, I get it. I'm not totally opposed to it. I'm definitely not for it, but whatever. That's a whole different thing. But also, you either have to have the proof of vaccination, a proof of a negative test within whatever time frame. They also have a testing, I guess it's a free testing that they're offering there. So if you don't get it done before you get there, you can at least get it done there. So you get there, get your test, and I think it's a rapid test. I don't remember what the email said. I would hope it's a rapid test. Otherwise, you know, waiting 3 to 4 days for a 4-day festival is pointless, at least in my opinion. But then they're also requiring that while you're indoors in the theaters that you wear a mask the whole time unless you're eating or drinking actively, and that's a bummer. But you know, I recently got a couple of pretty comfortable masks. Still, you know what's more comfortable than a comfortable mask? No mask. But whatever, I get it. At least they're having it in person still. They're able to do so. With the county restrictions, they didn't cancel it. I was supposed to be on a work trip for a conference down to wherever the fuck Disney World is. Totally forgot it. Orlando. That's supposed to be happening this week. I'm supposed to leave tomorrow. And then that got canceled just a couple weeks ago. Not canceled, but postponed until like April of next year. And now we have one at the end of January, beginning of February scheduled for Atlanta. And right now they're shooting for everything's hunky-dory, but I guess we'll see. So anyway, the Telluride Horror Show and Night Stream, I'm going to try and keep track of everything I actually see. Like, I'll be able to do so with the Telluride because I have the schedule that Chris put together, emailed to me. But with the Night Stream, I'm pretty much at the mercy of what times I can be at Chris's house to see whatever we see. But I haven't really watched anything new. I meant to go see Candyman and what is it? Conjuring 3? No, I missed Conjuring 3. There was another movie that came out that I want to see and I totally forgot what the fuck it was. Didn't see either of those. I've more or less been rewatching things on Netflix and whatever. I just needed stuff I didn't need to pay attention to. I don't know why I've been feeling like that recently. Not even a new movie. Haven't seen a new movie in a while. At least not one I can think of, except since my last episode. But I've meant to, just haven't. I've even been meaning to watch Hellraiser 4 Bloodline. I've been meaning to rewatch that. I haven't watched that in years, but I've been meaning to rewatch that because Ryan wrote one of our new songs. He wrote the lyrics for it based off of that. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't paid a visit to that in a while, and I mean to. I just haven't felt like doing it. When I'm home alone, I don't often find myself watching horror movies all that frequently. At least regular horror movies, like horror comedies and stuff, I will. But that's just because I like comedies more than horror movies, probably. I like to laugh. I like to stupid humor. Not even stupid humor, just good comedy. Maybe it's just because of last year and this year. I don't know. My if I'm looking at my DVD collection, my comedy list is probably a lot higher than my horror list. I love horror movies. Big horror fan. Not horror obsessed. I don't know. But anyway, Telluride. I'll be able to keep track. I have the list of the movies we're supposed to see, some of which are old movies. So, like, we're seeing Starship Troopers, which I fucking hate that movie. Maybe I'll like it this time, but I hated it when we saw it in the theater when it came out. Except for the shower scene. Hashtag titties. But yeah, we're seeing that. So, I'll keep you updated. I will do an episode when we get back. I'm on vacation the next 2 weeks for work, so I'll be able to record one. I won't have to worry about work stuff, hopefully. I'm not taking any of my work shit with me. My boss has my personal number, which is fine. So if she needs questions answered, she can text me. She knows that. But I think she'll probably go out of her way to not bother me, which is extra cool because, you know, that's what a good boss does, is lets you take your time. And I'm ready for a vacation. Anyway, so that's what I got going on. The band is also, we're still working on our album, little 5-song EP. I can't remember if the last episode I recorded was before or after the drums. I think it was before. We got those done in 2 days. We were going to do 6 songs, and we ended up having to scrap the cover song for a few reasons. We just really weren't ready to go into the studio with our songs as far as being prepared to record, being consistent in our rehearsal. And that was semi-intentional. This band, historically, in my opinion, since I've been in it, which has been since the end of 2009 now, and I don't know why. I mean, we've changed members like a few times. Steve, our drummer, passed away. Now we have Greg. Derek was our bass player. And then with the whole debacle with Roger showing up to practice and flaking out on us, Derek decided he wanted to play guitar, so we switched over to guitar. We don't have a local, full-time bassist, so we're using Rob. Rob was the original bassist back in the day. Great guy. Good bassist. He lives in New Mexico. Derek now lives in California, so getting us together to do things, like practice or whatever, is difficult. Greg is our drummer, and Rob, our bass player, are not super technically savvy. So, like remote recording situations or remote practice situations for both of them are very difficult to work with. And, not that we have to really work remotely with Greg, but for Rob, Ryan has to tab stuff out and then send it to him, and they've done some FaceTime practicing or whatever. But anyway, we're in the studio. When I scheduled the dates, I wanted it to be for us to work towards something. Otherwise, we would talk about recording over and over and over again. And we are simultaneously getting our asses kicked in the studio and, in my opinion, recording a very good album. It is just an EP, but I think it's going to be solid as fuck. I really, really do. Shane Howard, Sonic Quartered Studio owner, producer, engineer, mastermind. I really wanted to work with him from the stuff he has produced that are not his, but mostly because of what he produced that is his band. So March Ryden, if you haven't heard March Ryden, check out March Ryden. Maybe I'll throw up a song at the end of this. They're fucking dope. I love March Ryden. Just really, really solid music. Organoside was a side project he did with Greg Burgess and drummer for Necrogoblicon, Eric. Can't remember his last name. HM2, old school Swedish project, at least in sound and music, and lyrics were basically joke lyrics. But I just really, really want it. Nuclear Power Trio, he's recorded them, produced their albums, but hasn't, he wasn't on that. But I wanted to work with him, and I told him when we booked the dates, he gave us a quote and he booked the dates. And I said, hey, we're not the pros. We're not the professional musicians. There will be a lot of coaching required, a lot of producing. And, if we need to take longer, charge us appropriately. And that's what's happening. We got the drums done in 2 days, at least as far as the tracking goes. Guitar has taken a few extra days. That's still not done. There's some leads and solos that need to be fleshed out and recorded. Vocals, sadly, only 5 songs, but vocals are taking forever. That's partly my fault. Just, we have these songs, and when we rehearse, Ryan and I haven't sat down and had like a song structure, songwriting session in a really long time. And that's my bad. We try to get together when we can to do stuff like that, but we never really did for any of these songs that are on here. The closest we came is he writes some of the lyrics. Like, I think I wrote lyrics for 2 of the songs that are on here, and he wrote lyrics for the rest. And one, actually, I think maybe he did. He recorded one. Should have had him record another one, but he actually recorded some scratch vocals over one song, because he handed me lyrics that's a lot of fucking words, and I had no idea where he wanted them, because the song itself did not have a flow to match up with the words, at least in my brain. So instead of getting together and just kind of working it out in person, not at practice, because it's too loud at practice, drummers fucking around, and it's just too loud, and you want to play the songs, right? But instead of getting together at his house and trying to figure it out, I just had him record his own vocals over the songs and, give me a general idea of where I'm supposed to put stuff. And that worked out. The thing with Shane is Shane has a really good ear for song structure and how he thinks vocal patterns should lie in with the music. And so what we'll do is we'll record, at least for me, and I think this is what he's been doing for all of us so far, is play through the song once as we normally would, and then go back, section by section and fine tune or change. And with the vocals, we'll record, and I'll sing it just like I do at rehearsal, and or at least close to. And we'll go back and reevaluate some phrasing, some words, and he'll plot out where he wants to do layers for like double lows, high-low split. And he's got some really good shit. And we've got 2 songs fully finished as far as the recording goes. And we started the first, we went through the first run and layout of a 3rd song. And then I go back in this coming Monday and Wednesday and hopefully knock out the other 2 songs, because 1, I'm ready to be done with them. Like, I just want it to be done. I want it to be off my plate. And 2, I don't want to spend a whole shit ton of money just on fucking vocals, even though I know it's going to sound good. Even listening back to what I've recorded already with everything, it's nice to hear it all come together, but it sounds fucking unreal. And then I know once Ryan gets his solos and leads all put into place, it's going to be killer. It's going to be fucking killer. So that's where we're at here. So hopefully just a few more days of actually in the studio, at least 2 for me. I'm going to say maybe 1 for Ryan, maybe 2. And then off our plate, and Shane can do his editing, mixing, mastering wizardry, and hopefully have something that I could put out. I don't know if I want to do a lyric video as the thing. Maybe, because I think that's probably the easiest way to go. But I really do want to make a full music video, but I don't know what the budget looks like for that, because I have no idea how much it costs to make like a professional music video. There are some filmmakers out there that I'm sure, I know a few, that there's a Devil Red Films, they're a filmmaking company. They make their own short films, and I don't know if they would have time or bandwidth to try and do a music video in there. And I wouldn't want anything stupid crazy. I've thought about some stupid crazy, but I think we could probably even do our own halfway decent, renting some gear maybe, having to plot it out. I have some ideas. The bigger issue I'm having is what song would I want it to do it for, or want to do one for, and if everybody else would want to do one, and then get everybody back in town. So that might be the thing. But that's where we are. So I'm going to wrap up this episode now. My breakfast has been delivered. I'm going to try and eat this. I don't know if I'll have time to edit this and upload it before the wedding. I'm going to blaze through it, though, so there might be some coughing and all that crap that I miss, and I apologize, because I like to edit back at two times the speed, mostly because I like to listen to myself sound like a chipmunk. But that's where I am, and I will update you guys. I will for sure get another episode recorded next week after the Telluride horror film, or the horror show, and after this night stream. I'll probably be tweeting, not like live tweeting or anything, but I'll probably be tweeting from the Death Metal Disco Twitter account, which is at Death Disco Pod, and that doesn't tie directly to my Facebook or my Instagram. But you can expect, so if you want to follow me on the social media while I am in Telluride or watching Nightstream or whatever, it'll be on the at Death Disco Pod, the podcast for, or not the podcast, the Twitter account for this here little podcast. I'll be putting updates about whatever we're seeing and, whatever else we're doing. We're actually, in the schedule that Chris sent, we're actually going to do the pig roast. We've never actually done the pig roast out of the 4 times we've gone. 3 or 4 times we've gone. I can't remember how many times we've been there. They also have an ice cream social. We haven't done that either, but that's on the schedule. So it's nice to see that Chris wants to be a little more sociable at this, or maybe the schedule just wouldn't allow another movie because he's all about the movies. But maybe, just maybe, Chris wants to be friendly with other people, and that's acceptable. So we'll see. I love you all. Thanks for listening. Thank you for your patience with me. People randomly text me every now and then and ask, hey, what's the deal with the podcast? Rob just texted me, hey, what's the deal with the podcast? And I said, hey, fucker. I know, I'm lazy. And, yeah, so I love you. Be well, be safe, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And thank you. I'll see you soon.